Running a marathon has never been on my radar. I've always kind of been somebody that's been in the I hate running group, right? I had the shirt, I hate running. And anytime that someone would say it, I would most certainly add my voice to the chorus of those that are saying, I hate running. That's what makes this journey so interesting, is maybe from 2018 to now, I've kind of learned how to be a runner. So much so that I just completed my first marathon. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about my journey and what that race taught me about myself. If you've never been a part of a marathon, or in reality an event as big as what the Dallas Marathon was, it's quite the sight to behold, because there were 4 different corrals. I was in Corral C, which was with the not fast, not slow pavement pounders, and we were smushed in there, if you will. The one thing that's also interesting about running a marathon is the fact that it is gonna take you, the fast guys are gonna do it in about 3 hours, where a gentleman like myself was going for kind of around 4.5 hours. So that means if you're gonna start at 8:30 or 9 o'clock, you know that you're running into the afternoon. So you have to dress in a way that prepares you for the way that you're gonna finish the event, not that the way that you're gonna start the event. And I say that because it was a very brisk 37 degrees that morning in Dallas. Now what I did is I was running in short sleeves, I was running in my shorts, I was going to have gloves with hand warmers on and kind of a headband that would keep my head warm. And then I was wandering from the hotel in a emergency blanket, so I kind of wrapped myself up in that. And that worked to get me from the hotel to the corral. And then once we got in the corral, everybody's warming up, everybody's moving, everybody's shaking and getting ready for this event. And I'm telling you, man, it was hype. Because of how hyped the energy is in the corrals and the start of the event, you have got to be crazy careful with the way that you come out at the event. And that's why when I was doing a lot of my training, I really did work in a lot of pace training. So I would go out and do a certain distance and try to do that same distance over and over again within a certain amount of time, so that I knew coming out of the gate what the right pace was for me. Because man alive, you can just come out, hit a super hot mile, and you're setting yourself up for failure, because if you do that, you still got 25.2 more miles to go, which is a lot. And though today I'm not gonna be wearing obviously the same setup that I would be wearing when I had gone out and done the marathon, I also didn't go out in the lightest attire. I went out with my U-Sway backpack, no dancing monkey. And that's because it helped me stay comfortable. Now I did have this on in every single training run. So even if I was doing 2 miles or speed training, I was wearing this. I would have the bag on and know what it felt like, and always had that extra weight on me. And I think that's another part of this, is there's so much information out there about what you have to do or should do. But in the long run, you have to remember you're gonna be out there for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. You need to figure out what's gonna make you the most comfortable, so that you can stay in your own head and not start beating yourself up, because 26.2 miles is a long time. The first part of the race went to plan. My hydration and my nutrition was working. I was really holding the pace that I wanted to hold as I was going through the first half of the Dallas Marathon. And it's not until I got to around mile 14 that things actually got quite emotional for me, because while I was out there, I learned that when I used to say the words "I hate running," all I was doing was holding myself back, because I was making that true. I kept reiterating to myself, I'm not a runner, because I kept telling myself I hate running. And as I've gone through this journey, and especially while I was in mile 14 or 15 of this marathon, I realized that if we continue to do that, not just with I hate running, but I hate X, I don't like X, this is a bad thing, we're making it true. So if we stop telling ourselves those things and actually lean into it a little bit, we might find ourselves a runner, we might learn that we enjoy running, or whatever that thing we were holding ourselves back from doing, we might actually become. We do have to talk about the wall. There's gonna be a spot in a marathon that's gonna hurt.
And that's what you have to train for. That's why you get base miles, you get speed work, you get tempo work, you get pace work, and you worry about your hydration and your nutrition. If you focus on those instead of just going fast, you're not gonna hit the wall that everybody else talks about. Whew. For me, the wall that I hit was at 18 and a half at White Rock Road, leaving White Rock Lake, because it was a literal mountain, it felt like at that point. Woo! Right now though, we gotta keep running.
When it comes to nutrition, this is how I started my day. About an hour and a half before I knew that I was gonna be starting the event, I was beginning to eat 2 cups of rice. And I had this rice finished about an hour to go before my start. So in this case, I knew that we were gonna go off at 8:50. So by 7:50, I was done eating the rice to make sure I give myself a full hour to begin digesting, to get everything ready to rock. So I wasn't gonna vomit right off the start. And then again, 30 minutes before the start, I had a Fuel for Fire. Now a Fuel for Fire does have protein in it, and it is whole foods, right? It's not some sugary supplement. And what I like about it, about 100 calories, about 14 grams of carbohydrates, but 10 grams of protein. On long days, we want to give ourselves a little bit of protein so that our body can break that down for the amino acids it needs, not break down our body. As I mentioned earlier, I did use my UCAN backpack, so this is a 3-liter bag that I had with me. Now, the way that I had it set up, of course, 3 liters of water in it. I had 2 scoops of the UCAN energy powder, which was about 180 calories and about 42 grams of carbohydrates. And then I had 2 elements mixed in there. So that, about each packet is about 1,000 milligrams, so about 2,000 milligrams of sodium. We had about 400 milligrams of potassium, and then about, 20 to 40 of magnesium. That worked great. I did not cramp. I am actually gonna try to increase that though, so that I am taking in more, because that's around about 200 milligrams of sodium per hour. Because what I would do is every mile, I would take 3 full swigs from this. That's the way that I treated this entire thing. Every mile, take 3 swigs. That equal about a cup to a cup and a half about every hour. And then within that, I knew about how many carbs I was getting and about how much sodium I was getting. So we'll call that about 200 milligrams of sodium an hour. I don't think that's enough. Now, I didn't cramp, so I'm gonna try to push that and see if I can get in more, and if it doesn't bloat me or make me feel weird. We'll see how that goes. In the long run, if I do plan to do more half marathons or marathons, I will start to learn how to train and not need to carry this bag with me. But because I race dirt bikes and race with this, it made a lot of sense. I'm very comfortable with this. I wanted to be as self-sufficient as I could be, and this allowed me to do that. So again, don't let your ego get in the way. If you want or need something, do it. It's about you being comfortable on your race. Now, the one thing that I did need to do on course as well, UCAN was a sponsor, so luckily they had some edge gels there, and I did about 3 of those throughout the race. So I had one of those around the 8-mile marker, and then probably around 14 miles, and then I took another one about 21 miles into the race. Now again, I was kind of sucking on carbs the entire time as I was getting water and electrolytes in. That's the way that I treated my nutrition. Again, if you look at my heart rate from the event, I never really went into a crazy heart rate zone. Was this enough if I were to try to go a little bit faster? Probably not. Again, I wanted to see, can I just pick a pace, run the marathon, hit all of it, never walk? I did that. Now it's time to see for the next one, which is not gonna be too soon, can I push it a little bit? And that's gonna change the way that I approach this and what I do choose to carry on my person, and then again, how I choose to do that. If you have any questions about this, please ask them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them, but it worked for me. Let me know what works for you. As I entered the streets of downtown Dallas, I truly thought that I was gonna get that last minute wind where I'd start truly picking up my pace. But if you look at my times, that unfortunately isn't what happened. But as I entered the gates and really saw the finish line and heard the music, saw the people and the energy, man, I felt an amazing sense of pride and an understanding of accomplishment of what I had done. I mean, I ran 26.2 miles. I didn't do any walking. And when you look at my breakdown, I was crazy consistent, and I just have to put that back on. I didn't let my ego get in the way at any point in time. And during training, I trained for what I knew I wanted my race to look like. I didn't train and then go try to create a race that I hadn't trained for, or vice versa. So it was like about 4 hours, 30 minutes, and 44 seconds, I think was my official chip time, and my average pace was around 10:20 per mile. I think that's pretty darn good. I was training around that 10 to 10:30, and I kind of went in saying, listen, I think if I keep a 10:30 pace the entire time, I'm gonna be extremely happy. And I was just a little bit faster than that. Am I going to do another marathon? I don't know. Right now, no. I do enjoy racing and riding dirt bikes, and I plan on doing that. I plan on following a series again in 2024 to race dirt bikes. If during some of the off season in the summer, a marathon or maybe an ultra pops up that's a little bit more off-road and less on-road, I think that could be a lot of fun. Because what I'm realizing is the more I tell myself I shouldn't do something, I don't want to do something, or that I can't do something, I hold myself back. Well, now that I'm on the other side of this marathon, I realize I need to keep finding these challenges. I need to keep putting them in front of me, setting goals, but then creating the process, just like the training, that's gonna help me achieve those goals, because we're way stronger and way more capable than we give ourselves credit for. And damn it, I want to have this feeling again with something else in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts, how your first marathon went, how your future first marathon is going to go, what you're doing trying to get there. Stop holding ourselves back. If you keep telling yourself, I hate running, you don't. You're just afraid of the work that's gonna take to get to a point where you might enjoy running. I hope you guys have a great one. Stay awesome. Peace.